We're live.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tori Talk. This is Tori Talk with the SBN Small Business Network episode number 462. I'm
Podcast. It's SB. It's Tori talking SBN, the Small Business Network podcast, episode 462.
Yes, sir, what you said. I mean, should I repeat it? No.
Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Tori Talks and SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. We're on episode 462, and our host is going to be here, Miss Tori Mason, hailing all the way from Buck Country, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So, hostess, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Sean. Sorry, everyone. Nah, number two, you gotta love it. So, all right, today I'll be interviewing Sean here, and hi, Sean.
Hello,
So,
hello.
hi, just coming on today just to see some of the journeys that you're going through. I know that you have a long list of expertise here, so I'll let you take it from here, sir.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, first of all, you're all too kind. And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming on for another installment here. Once again, this is episode 462, and with Miss Tori Mason. This is her second podcast episode, so please, everyone, definitely go ahead and give her grace. If you are catching this live, just do us a favor, put in the hashtag live. Let us all know exactly where you're tuning in from, where you're at, and more importantly, because it's the summertime, how hot it is. Yeah, we
Damn.
want to know that. And if you should actually catch this on a replay because again, it's the summer. You may be out and about, family members and friends, loved ones, doing other things. We get it, but you're not out in neck of the woods either. I ask for you to put in hashtag replay. Let us know where you're at, and more importantly, if you get any kind of value out of this, because we love to do these podcasts more so of encouragement, of enlightenment, but also show another person's journey. And that's the beautiful part as far as on what we do. Just to get you know, let you know a little bit more about myself. My name is Sean A. White, as it shows here. I'm the founder and creator of Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And with that, I have a brand that allows me to have the gifts of being a speaker. I'm also a coach. Some people call me a life coach, purpose coach, just a coach, right? Also, a hypnotherapist practitioner, which gives me the ability to work with my clients, go down a much more deeper level using the power of the subconscious mind to help them achieve the results in which that they are looking for. But also, I'm a mentor, I'm an author. I wear many different hats. I'm part of board advisory for Excellence Incorporated with founder Dr. Angela Palmer Banks and several others. And also, too, I have a 9 to 5 job. So I am a certified maintenance technician and also with HVAC. So I'm the one during this time, boys and girls, that if you're complaining as far as that you have no AC and it's hot and
Hmm.
you can't find nobody else, you give me a call. And I help diagnose and more importantly, fix the issue. And so also too, obviously, I'm a radio and TV personality with SBN, the Small Business Network, along with being a partner and CEO. So I'm like the right hand man to Commissioner Dr. James McConnell, which, by the way, we just did a show about several hours ago. So definitely feel free if you're following me, you can definitely go to my page and check it out. It's Dr. McConnell's a Small Business Network show, and I was on there along with one of our fellow partners, Willie Beckham, aka Sunday, out of Dallas, Texas. And so this is going to be fun. This is definitely going to be fun. It's definitely not about me, but it's all about you guys, the audience, and basically on what you can learn from other individuals, other entrepreneurs, etc. So let's go ahead and dive in and have a conversation.
Definitely. That was a really great episode. Earlier, I had the liberty of catching, towards the end of y'all show, and it was definitely phenomenal to hear, even with your guest speaker, Sonny, just to hear his journey as well today. Definitely phenomenal young man there as well. Yeah. I didn't
What?
know he was part of the small business network, so I think I missed that little tidbit of information. But your group is so well widely known as well, which is awesome. Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it is something that, as being a partner organization that I've gone on for about 5 years, just to see the leaps and bounds from which this organization has started, which, by the way, our small business network was in existence, before I was even, introduced. So just to see the level of consistency, to see the members just coming in. I have seen people's journeys. Literally, I didn't see from people that were literally introverts, right? Those that were completely new and green to social media and in terms of entrepreneurship truly, blossom and flourish, under our system and tutelage. And so with that, it's just a matter of just really just, coming into the organization and being coachable and being teachable. Of course, we have people coming from all different platforms and different industries and niches, right? And of course, they're doing their thing. They're solely focused on their business. But when you combine that as far as with the training and with the leadership and with the sound counsel that SBN, the Small Business Network, provides, the goal and objective is for you to be a much more well-rounded entrepreneur, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I think that when individuals come in, the mindset. I say this a lot.
I agree.
Mindset is key. Mindset is 90% of what you're doing in business and in life, right? Because if your mindset is not there, then it's very difficult for you to say that you want to be a millionaire, but yet you still have a poverty mindset or you still have an hourly mindset. It
Yes.
sounds great, but subconsciously you're going to find many different avenues and ways to sabotage yourself because you still haven't changed your mindset. And so that's one of the things that we definitely focus on is the mindset. I definitely focus on as far as those that I work with, because again, if your mindset is not where it's supposed to be, meaning that you're not taking the practical steps, right? What is your morning routine like, right? What are the
Yes.
activities in which that you are doing? What are some of the things in which that, are you learning? Are you growing? Are you stepping outside your comfort zone? Are you getting uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Naturally, people we want to be safe because it's a term called homeostasis, and that is something as human beings we all have because who wants to be in danger, right? Who wants to be
Yeah.
uncomfortable? Who wants to have like their nerves rattling and their teeth shaking all the time? Nobody,
Mhm.
right? Nobody in their
Nobody.
right mind. But in terms of the
So,
growth, in terms of from my countless research and studies, from those that are highly successful and has been doing it for such a long time, they will go ahead and tell you that you have to do things in a different manner than what you're accustomed to doing in order for you to reach that next level. I don't care if it's 10 grand a month or 10 million a month. I don't care. But if your
mhm.
mindset it's not there. And if you're not using the steps and the systems and the strategies in order to get you there step by step by step, then really it just becomes a pipe dream. And it sounds like, a fancy. So
Yes.
one of the things I love to have a conversation with individuals is what is your why? And I even have an exercise, and I haven't done this with you, Tori, but I have an exercise that I do, which I learned from the great Steve Kriver, one of my coaches and someone that I admire and respect. I'm heavily in this industry. He's I believe John. I'm sorry, not John Maxwell. Well, actually, he is a part of John Maxwell, but Zig Ziglar, executive coach. One of the things he taught us is that 10 levels why. Which, if
Okay.
you ask a person why about 3 times, most people they'll answer it with no problem, right? But when you start
Right.
digging a little bit deeper and you start paraphrasing and you start framing the question, what generally happens is that a person starts to get frustrated, right? And I mean, with, I don't do that as far as an intensity to piss a person off, but I have to see how strong is your why and how powerful it is, because life is
Mm.
going to happen. Things is
Mhm.
going to happen. People are going to pass away. People are going to go into the hospital. Your kids, if you have kids, they're going to drive you insane. If you have a loved one or a partner, they're going to drive you bad nuts. You may lose, lose your job, money not right. Whatever the case, right? This thing
Right.
called life is going to happen, whether you are active or not. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
However, your mindset is going to dictate everything. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, it's been instances where I've been sick, literally, and Commissioner can tell you, I was in the hospital, literally drugged up, full on medication, and all types of pain. And would you
Mm.
believe that I was still able to perform and do the show?
Mm.
Literally,
That's
literally.
commendable. Yeah.
Literally in the
Mm.
hospital bed. True story. I kid you not. I wouldn't make this up. But it takes that type of dedication in order for you to reach your dreams and goals. And
Amen.
I think what happens, Tori, is that we live so much in a microwave society that people wanted things about 2 months ago. And that may sound like a cliche, that may be
Body.
funny, that may be cute, but that's the known reality. And if you guys don't believe me, I want you to really interview 20 people or 50 people, right? Just interview. Everybody's pretty much going to be general, say the same thing, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, I want this and I want that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's all going to sound great underneath the surface. Me personally, I don't care about that because it's surface stuff. That doesn't interest me. That doesn't move me whatsoever. What I'm more interested is that when things is not going right, when things is going downhill, when the creditors is knocking on your door and they're like, "Hey, you haven't paid us in 2 months." I'm more curious as far as that when your kids are going bat nuts. Say, for instance, if they're going to jail or something crazy like that is happening. I'm interested and curious when things is going to, pardon my French, hell. How does your character show up?
Yes.
Because how the way your character show up is going to tell me on what kind of individual in which that you will be, not only in business as in life.
Mm.
There is a saying that how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I'm saying as far as that you have to be perfect, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Guys, this past week, I just got off a call because part of my job is a 9 to 5, and I explained this on the show is that I'm a maintenance technician. And this week in Atlanta, Georgia, it was considered like one of the hottest times during the year. And I was suffering from heat exhaustion yesterday. So you want to talk about tired and being out? My whole
Yeah.
body, literally, I was done for, done for. However, I am here today, still going. I can say, you know what, man, I'm tired. I don't feel like doing nothing. I don't feel like helping nobody. Right? I'm
And
just
that's
gonna
good
take this weekend,
dedication.
right,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
do me. And by accounts, I will be justified. However, as someone that is a leader, as someone as an entrepreneur, as someone that people look to, how would that look? I wouldn't be in alignment of who I am, and people can look at me as full of you fill in the blanks. And so
I
that's what
agree.
that's what it truly takes as far as an entrepreneurship to really get as far as to the next level. You have to be willing to sacrifice something. Got to
Yeah.
be willing to sacrifice something, whether time, sleep, money, relationships. It got to be something. I think that what happens, Tori, and I'll pass it back over to you.
Oh, you're great.
You have too many people that's comfortable and they want to get to that next plateau. They want to get to that next plateau in a business, whether it doesn't matter when you're in network marketing, affiliate marketing, doesn't matter. They want to be able to get those 10 or 20 extra clients a month, whatever the case is, right? They want to be able to sell like those extra 50, 100, 200 books, whatever case, if you're an author. But what are you
Yeah.
willing to sacrifice in order to make that happen?
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you hesitate when somebody asks you that, then you need to question why you're an entrepreneur, because this is not for the faint of heart, folks.
It's not. It's
It's not
not.
for the faint of heart. And everybody wants to say that they're an entrepreneur, but when the rubber meets the road and when it's time for sacrifice, whatever that may look like, it will truly show on who's an entrepreneur and who's not. It's no wonder why there's only the 1% that's truly thriving, that's truly successful, and that's there because they understand that concept. And they said, you know what, I will sacrifice, I will do whatever it takes within reason, morally, of course,
Mm,
in order to go ahead and make that happen. So they was willing to do the hard things in order to have the life that they want and that they deserve
I
versus doing
agree.
the easy stuff all the time, the shortcuts. And now later on down the life, they have extremely very, very hard.
Mm.
Something to think about. That's a mindset shift.
Some
So
powerful words too. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say that. So go ahead, Tori.
I agree 100%. I always say that I try to live like others won't so I can live like others can't. You definitely got to put your all into it every day, rain, sleet, and snow, sick or not, like you said, it's like you're death defyingly ill, but at the same time, you're on your grind and still trying to accomplish your goals and your dreams and try to make everything come together as one. And you're well beyond successful at completing your goals. And hopefully, it can inspire because that's the main goal here is to try to accomplish and build dreams and legacies and just got to keep going every day, just one day at a time sometimes, that's all you can ask for anyway. Everything is not going to be instant, which I can also agree on also, as much as we would like that microwave lifestyle and instantaneous goals and, you know, instantaneous wealth, wouldn't that be phenomenal for everybody? But you definitely have to put that time and effort into your dreams. Nobody else is going to live those dreams but you. So if you want it to work, just got to give it your all. It's not simple. Lord knows I've been working on my goals and dreams for years. And I don't know. I just keep grabbing at the little bit of tricklets and coins I can grab along the way and pray on the rest and keep striving, one day at a time, one footstep at a time. Yes.
Definitely. Let me ask you this,
Hmm.
Tori. What for you would be considered as a breakthrough?
Spiritual or financial.
However you want to frame it.
Yeah. I look through a breakthrough most of the time spiritually. I don't know. I think everything for me revolves around God. I think that He opened doors, and if you live your life righteous and you try to be, that person that He expect you to be, your higher self, one day you will find it, and He will open up the floodgates of heaven and, provide you with that breakthrough. That's my way of always looking at it. So,
Okay. Well, cool.
yeah.
Cool.
How about yourself?
For me, in terms of a breakthrough, if we're talking about on a financial aspect, see, my vision has been already set for me, and that is to become a $200 million earner, travel all around the world, motivating, encouraging, inspiring the masses, showing others that it's possible, overcome their self-limited doubts and dreams and beliefs. Not only showing others that it's possible, but also too showing them it doesn't matter as far as on where you are from. So for mine, it goes so much more deeper than that, so much more deeper than that. But more so, not even just the financial aspect, but really just showing others that it's possible, right? To overcome any kind of doubts, any kind of circumstances, no matter where you came from and where your background is at. It's all about on where you're going and what you're willing to do as far as really to become that next person. That's what it's about, and that's where the breakthrough comes in, and that's what I do as far as where to help and show others as well. But it has to be mutual. It has to be both ways. The person, they had to be willing to put the work in. They had to be willing to be coachable and teachable, and
I
also
agree.
too pushed and stretched as well. And you have to, because if not, then it's not going to work. Because subconsciously, again, subconscious mind is going to find ways as far as to put roadblocks and obstacles in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's about comfortability. So in order to become the person that you're looking to become, in other words, the be do have, right? And I even did a segment on that. Then there has to be a level of commitment. There has to be a level of consistency, and have to be one to get outside your comfort zone. It's no other way.
Mm-hmm.
It's no other way. No other
I
way.
agree. I definitely
No other way.
agree because you definitely got to get over your comfort zone just to even, I don't know, just to even welcome the challenge. It's just so much to detail all around. Now, what about your life coach? That's so interesting to me, as well as your hypnotherapy. How would somebody get off into that type of lifestyle?
How would someone get? I'm sorry.
Yeah, with far as schooling, would that be like something online, or is that something? How did you
Yeah,
come about that anyway? It's just so interesting to me because you don't hear a lot of people with those type of backgrounds every day. Profession.
yeah. So I'm an individual. Ever since I was young, I used to always be a student of human behavior. What
Hmm.
drives an individual? What makes a person tick? What makes them react to a certain situation? What makes them want to buy something, right? Buy
Hmm.
something in particular. I mean, yeah, it was nice. I mean, of course, but going really to underlying, right? That's always been fascinating to me. So when I became an entrepreneur during my personal development journey, as me growing and learning from different individuals, such as like the John Maxwell's of the world, right? The Viktor Frankls, the Les Browns, the Eric Thomases, the Lisa Nichols of the world, Oprah Winfrey's, Maya Angelou's, et cetera, et cetera. I came across individuals, Tony Robbins, for example, Dean Graziosi's. I came
Yeah.
across as far as something called life coaching. And so I was like, life coaching, what is that? So I started going down a rabbit hole, as I normally do. And I started doing my research, right? And with that, I was like, life coach, interesting. So I started reaching out to other individuals that were life coaches and found out more about the profession. And what I did is that actually I attended two academies or two individuals that were actually hosting classes as far as
Oh,
on being a life coach. The first one was with Emory Emily Correa, and I'm certified as being a super mindset coach. And the second one is by my good friend Mr. Steve Cribber, which he has the Eagles Impact course. So I'm certified in that as well. Two
yes.
very intense courses,
Mm.
and there was a financial aspect to that. But I'm glad because I learned so much because they use what NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming and other different facets as well. So that was very appealing. And then, of course, with the hypnotherapy aspect, I have over 500 hours of um, classroom, experience and instruction through an HMI Institute. And I say all that to say this, that, you know, because with being a life coach, you don't necessarily have to be certified, but it's more of this thing where if you go to a doctor or to a dentist's office, for an example, and you don't see their degrees or diplomas on the wall, where's the likelihood that you're going to allow for your doctor to touch you and diagnose you or even check you out? Probably
I
slim
agree.
to none, I would say. So
Hmm.
likewise, people think like that as well. Yeah, you can say you're a coach. Yeah, you can say you're a life coach, but what are your credentials, right? What are your areas of expertise? Think
Hmm.
about this with Commissioner Dr. James McConnell, right? But he has this credentials to back it up.
Mhm.
Otherwise, if he didn't have those credentials, then you'll be looking at him like, you know what, you full of
Yeah.
it, man. You call yourself a doctor,
It
but
seemed fraudulent, huh?
right, but you're being fraudulent.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
people people want to see those degrees or certifications because it then validates in the back of their mind. They know that they're dealing with someone that knows on what they're doing and what they're talking about. And that's
Mhm.
just human psychology 101 to tell you the truth. So you just
Mhm.
want to go ahead and have that. But to answer your question, to wrap it up, always been a fan of human behavior, right? And that's just one of those things that made me really just want to go on a rabbit hole and just go ahead and get those certificates. And by the way, still learning, still
Yes.
growing as well. So
Amen. Yes, sir. Every day, huh?
every day, every day.
Beautiful. Yeah, because I always thought it was just interesting because I come from a medical background too, and I always like to explore different options because I was even looking into like holistic medicine for myself, and I even thought about life coach at one point. So it's always nice to just let people know that there's always other options to grow and explore, new ventures in life too. And I just really just feel it's commendable because I don't know. You just don't hear about it every day. So I just thought it was really a good focal point for you as
Let,
well.
so
And then
let,
HBC and the property management, you just have so many hats.
and I wanna ask you this while we're live on the air. What is stopping you from pursuing holistic medicine and becoming a life coach?
Nothing actually. I've been looking a little bit more into the holistic medicine because I just really feel like that's the new healthcare in my world because I have country, southern parents, even though I'm from the city up here in Milwaukee, my parents are from the south and, they brought up here a lot of homegrown, a lot of home remedies, that really works. We've been using forever and it's just kind of falling at bay. So I don't know. And then I still like to, drink like herbal teas and things like that. And I feel like, I don't know, it helps me, in my achy joints because I'm getting of age and I got to stay,
Okay.
up to par. So, just to answer the question, I don't know. As far as a life coach, it was just always a thought. It was just like, you will see it on commercials and things of that nature and be like, oh, that's a good idea. Kind of like the holistic medicine. But since
Okay.
I've been in social media more, I've been seeing more of it. So, I'm a late bird in the social media world for the ones who don't know me. Everybody else who know me know I, I stray away from social media, but I don't know. I've been loving it lately. Exploring new options.
Should definitely pursue it then. If that's the case, and you're looking at it that much, and if it's something that's really of an interest to you, go ahead
Mhm.
and pursue it. I mean, I have information like through one organization. I believe that would be ideal for you, and you can take the courses through
Mhm.
that, and they're very affordable. Very
Okay.
affordable. When you take a
Dang,
look
I always like
at the
that.
rates, when you take a look at the rates, you're gonna be like, "Are you serious?" Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I used to make a lot of excuses when my kids were growing up, but now that my kids are beyond grown and grandkids now, it's like I don't
Right.
know. I got more time than money. It's usually my joke.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm. Nice. Well, that's pretty interesting. So I appreciate you for going over all of that great information with us and sharing and definitely food for thought for myself as well. So definitely interesting. Was there any other upcoming events or anything that you don't think we covered on today's show?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend to go on my page and take a look at the show. We are doing a lot of great stuff as far as for individuals. We have a system that is automated. So if you're looking as far as to gain customers, acquisition, we have a system in which that we can put everything on automation. And that is something that is truly a game changer, as most of you know. We're in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. So definitely you will want to inquire with that, get in contact with myself or with Tori on that regard. But also too, we do have something which will help a lot of folks. Uh-oh. What happened here? Uh-oh. What happened here? Uh-oh. All right. But also too, we do have something which will help a lot. Huh?